Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Total Fitness Wednesday. And today's routine, the infamous, the captain. Can be quite simplest. You'll need a kettlebell or two. If you've got a bit of variation, that's even better. It's one big 40-minute EMOM every minute on the minute. 10 exercises, 4 rounds. I'll go through the details shortly. No burpees yesterday. Bad news is, one or two today to make up for yesterday. So anyway, let's get warmed up and then I'll go through the details with you. Okay. Right, Lovely, right, that's the walk complete. So, on to the main routine. So it is in its entirety a 40-minute EMOM. No finisher. Finish is not required on this. Okay, so it's every minute, on the minute, 40 minutes, non-stop, 10 exercises, 4 rounds. You're generally alternating between 10 reps, 20 reps, 10 reps, 20 reps, okay? I'll take you through those now. Okay? French Montana. Yeah, okay, I'll try and memorise that. Okay. Right, so 10 reps, 20 reps. The only difference is the first, I'll change the structure very slightly. So minute 1, you're going to do 5 burpees and then 10 sit-ups. The reason being, we're trying to get, this was done during lockdown for Captain Tom's 100th birthday. So it's been a while now, hasn't it? So we're trying to get 100 burpees in the 40 minutes, okay? And we were squeezing the whole 25 times 4, so that 25 burpees, that last minute. Now obviously 25 burpees a minute for most people, people just weren't getting it. And understandably, it's harder than doing 20. So what I'm doing, I'm going to do the first minute, you're going to do 5 burpees, 10 sit-ups. So then effectively, once you do the last minute, which is 20 burpees, you straighten it again, 5 burpees. So you know, it ends up the same. But it's just works and it's just a little bit more manageable. Okay? So, minute 1, 5 burpees, okay? Go down all the way up if you can. Nice and straight, 10 down, and then 10 sit-ups, okay? So that's minute 1. Minute 2 is a 20 repper, so you're still on that, get your kettlebell behind you. And we're doing 20 pullovers. So grab the kettlebell there, get there, until your arms are perpendicular to the floor. Touch the floor, back. Touch the floor. Touch the floor. You've got everything there, chest, lats, tricep, abs. Okay? Good upper body one. 20 reps. Next one. You're doing press-ups. You're still mastering normal press-ups. You know, keeping your elbows down, shoulders down, elbows in that arrowhead. Just do 10 quality chest-to-floor press-ups. If you've mastered press-ups and you want to do something a little bit more advanced, you can do a pike press-up. Okay, pike press-ups, you get that sort of down dog position. And they go down, elbows are still in that position, look. Top of the head to the floor. Then push your chest through your arms. So it's much more shoulders. Okay, but only do that if you've managed your full chest-to-floor quality press-up. Okay, 10 reps. Back to 20 reps for minute 4, sorry. Single arm row. Okay, one side at a time, every round you can just swap sides. Now, if you really struggle with that hinge position and rowing, then you can do a staggered version, okay? But slightly more advanced is just a bent over version there, so get that hinge, screw your feet into the floor, open your hips, engage the glutes, hips drop back, and it's from the floor to the waist, floor to waist. Just tap the floor each time, 20 reps, okay? Like I say, if you don't get on with that though, staggered version is okay, that's easier though. Okay, because you've got stabilising your trunk as much. Right, next one, minute 5. Again, this is quite a tough one. 10 reps, lunge and press. Okay? So you're going to rock it, lunge and press. Okay? Keep on your train tracks, not like this. Okay, make sure you're there. Okay, and that'll be your lightest one. If you've got some variety of weights, that'll be the light of the lot. 10 reps and then make sure you swap sides on the next round. Next one, that's 20 reps. Single arm deadlift. So again, same side. Again, it's about trunk stabilisation. Just going to do it with one hand. Screw the feet into the floor. Engage the hips. Okay. Back from the heel line. 1, 2, 3. Hinge. Just on one side, okay? Loads of comments here. Sorry, I'm having to explain everything quickly. So 20 reps on the one side. Next one, 10 reps. Focusing totally on abs now. Leg to hip raise. Okay? So the legs first, and then push to the ceiling. Leg raise, push. Okay? There. 10 reps. Back to 20 reps. Loaded hip thrusts. We need our last 3 now. So grab your heaviest kettlebell, I would say. Carefully place on the hips. Through the heel, push. Okay? Spine movement is one. So not this. Make sure you tuck the chin in. Lengthen out the spine. Squeeze, man. You drive that kettlebell like that direction. Okay? 20 reps. Give it a good squeeze. Don't rush it. Make it work. You've got to do it reasonably quick, but not too quick. Okay, then we've got sledgehammers. Back to 10 reps. Underhand grip. Tricep extension. And then take it through the hips. And then back up. Tricep extension through the hips. And finally, the 10th minute is 20 burpees. Or the bell. Whichever comes first. But don't forget when that bell goes, you're back to the start, which is 5 burpees. So you understand it's basically 25 burpees then on that crossover. However, you've got a good length of time to do it. Right, so remember if you can't do the 20 in that last minute, it's okay. Just do as many as you can. And then just start again with another 5 burpees on the next minute. Okay, sorry I can't answer all the comments, but we are time restricted. I will have a look at that track, whether they're saying that. We've got to get underway. Okay, grab your kettlebell then, and let's get ready to go. So, let's move along. Completely got myself there. 5 burpees, 10 sit-ups. Right, ready then? Here we go. 40 minutes of nastiness. 3, 2, 1. trunk stabilization. Right, 20 reps. Lunge and press then next. Lunge and press. 10 reps. Same side you've just worked. 10 seconds. Hang on, you've got a little bit of breathing. Hinge, glutes and hamstring. spine as one unit. That's 12 minutes. Sledgehammers, burpees, then some final round. Right, burpees, and then final run. Okay, come on. Dig deep with this one. Right, ready? burpee. It should be 20 left to do. Right, come on then.
I noticed you around. I find you very attractive. Would you, I find you very attractive. Would you go to bed with me?
You should have 20 burpees left to do. Okay. Ready there.
Would you go to bed with me? Would you go to bed with me?
Keep going. Well done, everybody. It's quite a notorious one, that. The captain, done for another call of the year. Soon comes round, though. Soon comes round. We've got the ordeal and all that in the coming weeks as well. But not just yet, though. We've got Terminator tomorrow, and that's the last one for me for a week. Okay. Right, coming back in just a minute then, with total mobility. Half an hour of deep stretching. Not done it before. Honestly, it's like the icing on the cake to this. It makes it so much better, totally different. You're going to relax, okay, right? See you in 2 minutes.